There's a certain quiet that settles into a house after decades of noise. No more shoes scattered by the front door, no urgent meetings, no clock watching, emails, or quick breakfasts on the go. Instead, the hours stretch wide, like a road leading into a misty morning. This is retirement, something so many people work their whole lives to reach. They picture lazy afternoons, peaceful mornings, and time to finally do what they want. But ask almost any group of seniors, and you'll hear a different story, one woven from laughter and tears, late-night conversations, and moments they wish they could do over. Because the truth is, retirement doesn't just bring freedom. It also brings a chance to reflect, sometimes with pride, sometimes with pain, on all that came before. And so, when we sit with those who've traveled further down this road, we learn the most precious lessons. Not just about what to do, but about what they wish they had done, what they regret, and what they'd change, if only they could go back. Today, I want to share with you 7 regrets seniors wish they knew before retirement. The stories, insights, and gentle warnings from those who have lived, lost, and learned. Let these words be a lantern, lighting your way forward so you don't look back with the same sorrow. I wish I hadn't waited until retirement to start living my life. Let me tell you about Marta. She was a nurse for 35 years, raised 3 kids, worked double shifts most of her life, and had this little dream of painting. Just a hobby, she'd say with a wave of her hand. But deep down, she had saved dozens of canvases in her attic. She told herself, once I retire, then I'll finally have time. Well, she did retire. But by then, her hands had developed early arthritis. Her vision wasn't as strong, and worst of all, she had lost the fire. That raw curiosity she had in her 40s and 50s had been buried under years of survival. She looked at me one afternoon and said, I kept postponing my soul. That line hit me like a truck. So let me ask you, are you waiting for the perfect moment to start something that makes your heart beat? Because here's the truth most seniors admit: when it's too late, retirement doesn't suddenly give you freedom. It only reveals whether you practiced it earlier. Maybe it's gardening, maybe it's dancing, or traveling solo, or learning to swim. Don't wait for a future that may not come the way you expect. Ask yourself, what's the one thing I keep postponing for someday? And what if you just started now? 2. I wish I had nurtured my friendships before they disappeared. Frank was my college roommate. We weren't the best at texting or calling. You know how life gets. Work, kids, health, appointments. The I'll call him next week cycle. When I finally visited his town 5 years into my retirement, I learned he'd passed away a year earlier. No one told me. That day, I sat in my car outside his old house for over an hour, just remembering the last dumb joke he made, his laugh, the way he called me boss for no reason. We always think we have time. But after retirement, a strange thing happens. You realize how much of your social life was tied to your job, your daily routine, your children's schools. Once that structure disappears, so do many casual connections, unless you fight to keep them alive. I've seen too many men, especially strong, proud, capable, slowly fade into loneliness because they thought friendship would be automatic. But friendship in retirement takes effort and vulnerability. So I ask you this gently. Who are the 3 people you could call today just to say hello? Not because something's wrong, just to remember the sound of their voice. Maybe it's not too late to rebuild that bridge. 3. I wish I had understood that retirement doesn't fix a marriage. Let me tell you about George and Helen. They were married for over 35 years when they both retired. Everyone thought they were the perfect couple, always showing up to church together, always sending Christmas cards on time. But behind closed doors, they had grown distant. Years of raising kids, working long hours, paying bills, their conversations had shrunk down to grocery lists and schedules. Helen once told me, we loved each other, but we forgot how to like each other. They assumed retirement would give them the space to reconnect. But instead, without the structure of work or kids, the silence between them became louder. I didn't know how to talk to him anymore. she whispered over coffee one afternoon. So here's the thing people don't often say out loud. Retirement doesn't magically heal what was ignored. If anything, it shines a light on it. That's why some couples grow stronger after retirement and others fall apart. Not because they failed, but because they waited too long to be intentional. So I ask you now gently and without judgment. When was the last time you really asked your partner how they've changed? What they fear? What they dream of now? You don't have to fix everything today. But maybe, just maybe, you can begin the conversation again. 4. I wish I had taken better care of my health while I still had the choice. Lisa was one of the most vibrant women I knew. Bright red lipstick, always wore purple scarves, and had this laugh that filled the room. She used to say, "I may be old, but I'm not done dancing." But in her late 60s, Lisa was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes and early heart disease. Not because of genetics, but years of skipping checkups, late-night snacks, and telling herself, "I'll start next month." That next month turned into a decade. I remember visiting her in the hospital. She looked at me and said, "I wish I had treated my body like someone I loved, instead of someone I was too busy to care for." It's easy to ignore our health when we're working. Too tired, too stressed, too busy raising everyone else. But here's what I've learned watching so many friends go through this. Retirement doesn't work if your body is breaking down. It's not about being perfect, it's about being present. Present enough to play with your grandkids, to travel, to walk without pain, to sleep without medication. So I ask you, what's one small health habit you can start this week, not next year, not after the holidays, but now? Your future self is not a stranger. It's you, and it's worth protecting. 5. I wish I had saved more than just money. Tom worked in finance for 40 years. Disciplined, focused, early riser. He had a beautiful portfolio, 2 houses, and a comfortable pension. But when he retired, he was miserable. He confessed to me one evening during a support group, "I saved every dollar, but I forgot to save a reason to wake up in the morning." And that, right there, is a regret many seniors never saw coming. Well, because we're taught to prepare for retirement financially. But what about emotionally, spiritually, socially? Tom had money, but no purpose. No hobbies, no community, no curiosity. Just a TV and a calendar filled with empty days. So let me ask you, beyond the savings account, beyond the insurance plans, what do you want your days to feel like? Because fulfillment is not found in your bank account. It's in the small routines, garden you water, the book you finish, the grandchild's laugh on the phone. Retirement is not the end of the story. It's a new chapter, but you have to write it, not just fund it. 6. I wish I had let go of my ego sooner. This one hits hard for a lot of us, especially the men I've talked to. Charles was a high-ranking engineer. Brilliant man, respected. But when he retired, he struggled deeply. Not because of money, not because of health, but because no one needed him the way they used to. He once told me, "I didn't realize how much of my identity was tied to being important." That loss of status, of routine, of people asking you for decisions, it's jarring. Many seniors fall into depression not because retirement is boring, but because ego doesn't know what to do with stillness. But Charles eventually found peace. He started mentoring local high school students in science. He told me, it wasn't about being needed. It was about being useful again without needing applause. So here's a gentle truth. You are still valuable, even if no one calls you boss anymore. Your wisdom is not wasted. It just needs a new outlet. Let your ego rest. And let your essence, the part of you that gives, listens, teaches, come forward. 7. I wish I had said, "I love you" more often. This last one is always whispered, almost never shouted. I met Gloria at a poetry group. She was in her 80s and wrote the most tender verses about her late husband, Dean. She once said something I'll never forget. "I spent so much time doing for my family, I forgot to say what they meant to me." She had regrets not about the dinner she cooked, or the clothes she folded, or the years she gave, but about the moments she didn't say the words. "I thought they knew," she said, "but people need to hear it." After retirement, the days slow down, but the window of time doesn't stretch forever. So please, if you take nothing else from this video, take this. Say it. Say, "I love you." Say, "I'm proud of you." Say, "I'm sorry." Say, "I forgive you." Say the things you think they already know because maybe they don't. And maybe they're waiting for it too. From one heart to another, if you're still with me, thank you. This wasn't an easy list to write or to share. Because these regrets, they're not just from them. Some of them are mine too. But I share this not to make you sad, but to remind you, it's not too late. You are not too old. You are not behind. You are alive. And as long as you're alive, there's still time to forgive, to reach out, to dance in the living room, to say what you mean. You don't have to carry these regrets forward. You can begin again, right here, right now. So before this video ends, maybe pause and ask yourself, what do I still have time to change? And who do I still have time to love? You might just find that the next chapter becomes your most meaningful one yet. If you found this video meaningful, consider sharing it with someone you love. And if any of these regrets hit close to home, know you're not alone. Let me know in the comments. What would you tell your younger self about retirement? I'd love to hear your story.